This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
What up, this is DC Channel Guns. Coming to another gun video. Appreciate you watching, like, share, and subscribe. So I want to appreciate all my subscribers. I want to appreciate all the information. Appreciate y'all for coming to the video. Appreciate all the support and love. Appreciate everything that y'all do for the 2A community. And like I said before, y'all are the star people. I'm just a messenger. I'm just the average citizen trying to uphold the Constitution, defend the Second Amendment. So with that said, we're going to talk about some news and stuff, some breaking news, especially when it comes to Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania courts have ruled that the 2005 Lawful and Commerce Arms Act is unconstitutional. Now, I've been talking about this Lawful and Commerce Arms Act is because that act was passed back in 2005 that would not allow gun manufacturers, foreign businesses and stuff like that, gun makers and stuff, to not be sued by someone who mishandled their product and stuff. I have talked about that. Right now, your opposition, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, is proposing this. They want to overturn this law. They trying to destroy the firearm industry. They're trying to destroy the 2A community. And this is one way they're trying to do it. And you have a lot of states are trying to bypass this law so they can sue gun business, gun manufacturers. You have some states who have done that, was successfully done that, and has sued gun shops, ran them out of business, gun makers and stuff, ran them out of business. It has happened. I have talked about this over a long time ago. But they're pushing for this because that is one way. You have gun organizations who are against your firearms. They're trying to push for this, to overturn this law and stuff. And so that's why we need to get out and vote, because this is serious. So you have Pennsylvania court ruled that it's unconstitutional for this law to protect gun makers, gun businesses and stuff, the firearm industry. So, you know, in 2016, there was a case where a 14-year-old boy has got his hands on a handgun. And I don't know as far as the aspect of what happened, whatever, but whatever happened was he ended up accidentally shooting his friend, and his friend died. Now, the family is suing Springfield Armory. So they're suing Springfield Armory. So I think it was a Springfield Armory handgun for some of the reports. And what happened is the family is suing Springfield Armory because of defects and safety features on the firearm. Now, they're suing that you take the magazine out of the handgun, it shouldn't be capable of firing. So they were saying, you know, it didn't have that safety feature on it. Now, at the end, I'm going to talk about what I think about this case and everything, and how, you know, and things that went wrong, period, especially when it starts with the family, the parents and stuff, of the, you know, who owned this farm and everything. But with that said, right here, we're going to use the Taurus G2C for example. Now, this gun is unloaded, no ammunition in the magazine, stuff like that. We want to be safe and everything because, you know, we can never be too sure that something is unloaded and everything. So we're going to double check because a lot of people, you know, don't do this. Now, what I'm saying is the case that the parents are saying that it didn't have a magazine disconnect. Now, with the magazine in a lot of firearms, you can shoot the gun. So, you know, if you rack the slide or whatever, you're still able to pull the trigger. So with that said, if you take the magazine out, you have some guns that have a safety feature that you're not able to pull it, not able to shoot the gun. And so the family is saying that with the magazine out, that, you know, you shouldn't be able to pull the trigger and stuff. They were suing Springfield Armory for that safety disconnect feature. But the problem is, even if you pull the magazine out, you can still have one in the chamber. So apparently that's what probably happened. I'm just assuming. I don't know the case in full details and everything, but I'm just trying to do an example to show you what is ramping up when it comes to this case in Pennsylvania. Now, with that said, you had a lot of firearms who have pretty much put safety features on their guns. Like this one here, it has a chamber indicator. If there's a chamber around in it, it pops up, you see the red. It has a safety switch on it, where if you cut the safety switch on, you can't pull the trigger. It has that on it. You have some guns who have this back strap trigger safety on it. You have some who have the magazine disconnect safety feature on it. So you have firearm manufacturers who've been, you know, building stuff, working around this, trying to create extra safety features and stuff on it. Now, in my opinion, with too much safety features could be a problem when you get into a situation you need to defend yourself. A lot of people know that. We had talked about that. Because in a heat of the moment, you might forget that you got the safety on, or any little thing, or a magazine could fall out. And I'm talking about any little thing can happen, people. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to focus on this case at hand. Now, with my aspect of all that I just told you, the 14-year-old, why was he in possession of the gun anyway? The parents should have had it locked up. I've been talking about firearm safety storage and stuff like that, and that is very serious. These are the things that keep happening. Now, on the flip side of that, because Pennsylvania is saying, hey, it's unconstitutional that, you can't sue a firearm maker, gun manufacturer for misuse or whatever. Now, if a gun manufacturer produce a product that have some internal issues on the manufacturer side, they can't be sued because, you got a destructive product that has some internal feature that is something wrong with it. Now, they can be sued for that, but not misuse of the product. So if you have someone that the opposition has been pretty much pushing, if you got someone who used such and such company firearm in some type of crime or whatever the case may be, then, they want to be able to sue the gun maker of the firearm for that person actually using their product to do whatever they did to it. So, this is a slippery slope because there's a lot of things that you can be misused. And if you did that, if they didn't have this law, the firearm industry be bankrupt, people. You can't control what people do with your product. Just like Ford or, whoever, Tesla, whoever car that somebody driving, they want to do harm to people, whatever. I'm talking about Tesla can't be liable for it. Ford can't be liable for it. It's a product that they sold to the individual. That individual need to be held accountable. So in this case here, because I'm just trying to get some context on top of this. And so with this case here, you have the family who's going after the gun shop who sold the firearm and the gun maker of the firearm. So you have two people who's being sued. Now, we talked about the Sandy Hook lawsuit. When it comes to Remington, you see what Remington is going through. And these lawsuits are a difficult process, people. And, right now, you have the opposition who's trying to overturn that law. That's why we need to get out and vote. They're going to push to overturn this law. And you have Pennsylvania who's ruling to the law is unconstitutional. And they don't like that this federal law is in place for the firearm industry. And if the firearm industry didn't have this Lawful and Commerce and Arms Act in place that they passed in 2005, it would be a bad situation for a lot of gun shops and stuff. And not only your gun makers, but your gun shops would be sued. If the gun shop has sold a gun there have been many mistakes, but if gun shop has sold a gun to somebody and they use it in a crime or whatever, the family will be able to come after the mom and pop gun shop, sue them right out of business. So this is something that you got to look at. The gun dealers and everybody, I'm talking about, they will be pretty much sued right out of business. This will pretty much start depleting the gun business and stuff in this country if you didn't have this law in place. Then there are still states, still places that's getting around this law and still suing businesses. But if a gun manufacturer produce a gun that have some issues, internal issues, and not misused by the person or whoever, but if they're producing a gun that has some flaws and safety issues and stuff and everything, yes, they can be pretty much held accountable for stuff for that. But far as someone misusing their product, nah. Now, when it comes to this 14-year-old boy, it's a sad situation. I think the parents should have locked the firearm up. He shouldn't have access to it. And because the magazine won't in it, I guess, assuming to some of the story that I looked at, if the magazine wasn't in it, the parents didn't make sure to clear it, didn't lock the gun up. So, I don't see, I just don't see how, it is the gun manufacturer's fault and how is it the gun store fault. That is the parent fault. That is the owner of the gun fault. That's the reason why I say a law-abiding citizen, we need to take ownership of these firearms. We must be in possession. We must be in control. And when we're not, we need to lock this stuff up. We can prevent a lot of these things that happen, especially when it comes to the Springfield Armory lawsuit case and everything. And this case been dragging on and on. You see, here it goes. This happened in 2016. And guess what? And you see right now we're in 2020. That's what these lawsuits do. So I just want to kind of talk about that a little bit. They put a little more extra stuff on top of what you've been seeing and hearing and stuff when it comes to gun industry and stuff, trying to be sued and stuff. So this is DC Channel Guns, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.